Oh man. The average
Test,
rainfall.
test, 1, 2, test. Okay.
How do you get? Why is it moving so slow?
It's your computer. No, I don't know. I mean, you got Skype going on, you know, and stuff, but
I can close Skype out. I haven't even looked at the chat.
well, if you're gonna close it before you come back.
I didn't realize that we got. Oh, he's just gotta go. Yeah, welcome back to the No State Project. This is a first, though. I mean, have we done?
Yeah, last year he was on. Last year, 2010.
Oh, you were on. Okay.
Right.
Well, I know 2010.
Right.
You definitely were on. That I know. That was the first year that we did this, and that was in LA, and that's when I made the mistake. And then welcome back to the No State Project for those. Everyone's got to file back in.
Jeffrey Sawyer, like.
Who?
Jeffrey Tucker.
Oh, yeah.
You got other speakers.
Oh, fine. That's right. We're supposed to have speakers here at Libertopia, and yeah.
That more refined East Coast.
They don't shut down the conference for the No State Project.
Well, what do I have you guys here for? Brian, Rick, kick his. Oh, fine. And I come dressed like this, and he's in a suit, isn't he? Yeah.
No, we still have a lot to talk about. And speaking of which,
oh yeah.
What are your thoughts about your talk today?
My thoughts?
Yeah, sure.
I went way over time again.
Well, you know, you had a blank space there after no one was speaking after you, so
Yeah.
it gave you some time. And I think this is the first Libertopia that I was at where you weren't forced off stage because of time limitations, and it really allowed us to get to all of the topics that you wanted to, and plenty of Call of Shames too.
I think that's because I got used to me running over and like, oh, this guy just goes on and on. But I did the shameless self-promotion. So if you see the other videos, are you still going to be in? Is he?
I'm in front.
Okay. Oh, that's right, the whole day. So I know. I think it was you. Maybe it was you. No, don't have your banner behind you at Libertopia.
Well, it's like Lars Ulrich wearing a Metallica shirt to the show, you know. So, to use the worst example possible.
Don't be that guy. Well, hey, in my defense, though, I've never gone before Congress. You know.
Well, you heard of the latest Lars Ulrich, haven't you? Apparently, Taylor Swift. I'm not sure if you heard of this up-and-coming artist here. She apparently thinks that streaming music, ad-supported streaming music, is a dead technology, it's outdated, and apparently she has a whole campaign against it, so...
a campaign against streaming music.
Right, so she might follow the way of Lars Ulrich. I don't know if she's been smoking meth with him or something, who knows.
But you can't compare Taylor Swift to Lars Ulrich, Metallica, Ride the Lightning, good lord. I mean,
right.
Taylor Swift is not the definition of cool heavy metal, and you know, I mean, I grew up with that. You know, I'm going,
I hear you there.
And to see Metallica before Congress
Betrayal.
Had to be one of the most un-metal things you could do. And then it blew me away. I couldn't. That would be like someone from the Grateful Dead in support of the drug war. Like Jerry, can you imagine Jerry Garcia saying, "Don't, you know, kids." Well, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Kids, wait till you're a little older to get. But you know, you don't expect someone like that to go to Congress.
It's grand hypocrisies. It's like a congressman arguing for no laws, no legislature. You know, you just don't hear it. But here come these artists. You know, we need intellectual property. These sharing technologies are dead. And you know, I think in the case of Taylor Swift, you know, you gotta imagine, she has tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of views on YouTube, on Pandora, and all these free streaming services, and undoubtedly she would be less, well, I don't know if she'd be less recognizable, but I mean, a lot of her success is contributed to these services that she's speaking out against, so I don't understand the hypocrisy, but you know, I think once you're supported and you're up on that plush level, you don't have to necessarily have consistency to earn the income that she enjoys.
She's not known for her consistency, logical, rational thought. And what kills me, though, is, since you mentioned Pandora, we'll talk about music that's got value to me, because I got teenage kids, so yeah, occasionally I got a hit at it, which I don't like at all. But Pandora has opened me to really good music. I would put Pandora on, and Sean Costello. Who has heard of Sean Costello, right? Right? One of the greatest blues musicians I've ever heard in my life, right? Never would have heard of him, because it wasn't a mainstream kind of thing. The guy, he was like a reincarnation of Dwayne Allman. There's just something about him. You know, there's just some guys who they're not the technical, most brilliant guys, but once they have two notes, and you're like, that's Sean Costello. And he passed away in 2008 of an overdose, but I wouldn't have heard of him if it wasn't for. And one of the greatest, so everyone look up Sean Costello, you will not be disappointed. I'll have to link that, but real quick, I know you're busted, but Joe Bonamassa, another great blues musician. You're not going to hear him on the radio. And Sean Starsky, because he plays with Jason Ricci, who's like the reincarnation of Paul Butterfield. He's the best blues harmonica player on him. And I never would have heard of it if it wasn't for a streaming service like Pandora.
And these technologies are dead. And you know, in my experience, you know, you have L1011, and I never would have found Godspeed You Black Emperor if it weren't for listening to L1011. Oh, see, now you know how we all feel. Okay, all right. I meant to do that on purpose here, because he throws these references out there, and then, oh, no one knows who did. Oh, okay, well, Godspeed You Black Emperor.
But I was making the point that if it wasn't for Pandora, because you never would hear them otherwise, so it kind of, but the point taken. Yeah, it's just like Benny Blanco from the Bronx. I know, people are like, what the hell are you talking about? Right. Well, the Pandora, I would just put it on and listen for hours, and hear all these different artists. So what I would do, I would hear someone like Jason Ricci and be like, oh my gosh, I gotta look this up. So I go to YouTube, and it's usually there, and then I'll be blown away, and I'll rip, you know, I'll just make a copy of it. But what I'll do, because everyone's watching, and now I'm gonna broadcast it.
Oh.
Well, because this is my caller line computer. So what I'll do, because you know there's encoding.
That's right.
I'll play it on the one computer and record it here.
Look at you, just going little pirate techniques down.
There's the lowest tech, you know, technology. It just, yeah. So that's what I would do. Thank you. So I hear it on Pandora. I go to YouTube, and then I copy the CD or whatever we're calling it today.
That's one way to do it. Maybe someone needs to introduce you in the Pirate Bay and file sharing here. You can find a lot of this stuff.
That's tracked.
What about can I do that on my cassette tape recorder?
Sure. You'll have to.
Gotta get all those 8 tracks to cassette. Then you gotta take that. Then you can go to digital. Are cassette tapes digital? No, okay, so they're all analog. Oh, so it was just I'm thinking of the cassettes we used to use for the DVD. No, the digital video recorders. ADATs.
Those digital
studio recording with the ADATs.
Those are digital. Well, what gets me too about the whole IP thing, we've got a whole show that we're going to be doing with Bill Buford and my buddy Greg, who you heard his sax playing.
Beautiful. I mean, beautiful. Oh! And that was over Skype too. I mean, it just sounded flawless. So yeah, I can't wait till this can kick off here.
Yeah, well, hopefully in 2 weeks we'll be able to do that. We will have Bill on and recorded, hopefully for next week's show. So we're actually going to talk about the subject we intended to talk about,
right?
Which is his articles on police brutality and whatnot, and which come out. I got to props to JT. JT was always saying that his opinion was that there's just more police brutality. And I was like, I think it's probably because it's being reported now because of things like YouTube and cameras. JT is right. There was the FBI or some government agency released a report that statistically, as violent crime among normal people has been dropping steadily since 1994. It's going the opposite way with police violence. The police are actually getting more violent, according to even the FBI, so you can imagine how bad it must really be.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. You know, because when on the last show, I remember we were talking about that there are no statistics, at least readily available, that you can look up for police murders and
Police
killings.
murders, right.
And
Well,
so,
hold that thought. I'm drawing a blank here, but we're here on the No State Project live from the Libertopia 2014. We'll be back here on LRN.FM in just a few moments. Don't go away.